Hey, what's up, First Form Outdoors team? My name is Greg Ray, and this is my submission video. Why am I First Form? Well, I have actually been preparing for this since 2004 and didn't even know it. Not only is outdoors my passion, but it's also my livelihood. I have been very blessed to turn my passion into my profession. So in addition to the outdoors, education is what I am really passionate about, and that's what I've been very blessed to do over the last number of years, is teaching people what I've learned over the last 19 years from individuals that have an amazing skill set at their specific craft. And I have learned from some of the best in their specific skill set, including instructors on long-range shooting. I've spent numerous hours on the range and sent thousands of rounds downrange as well, including rounds beyond 1,000 yards and actually even beyond a mile. Now this is on steel, not shooting at animals when we're hunting it that far, but what that has allowed me to do is whenever I go out in the field and I have that opportunity to take an animal at 200, 300, maybe even 400 yards, spending that time on the range, shooting at steel out to 1,000 yards has made those shorter distances when I'm actually out hunting a whole lot easier, and I know exactly what I need to do when the opportunity arises, and it actually makes me a more ethical hunter. But I've spent some time with some amazing guys, a lot of guys with a military background, some Green Berets, Green Beret snipers, Navy SEALs, and have, like I said, have been taught from the best of the best. And then the same thing also applies whenever it comes to hunting. My passion has taken me to places all around the globe. Mostly here in North America. I do a ton of stuff here and have worked with all different types of guides, but also it's taken me to places like Africa and Argentina, Costa Rica, Belize, all over Canada. Alaska is one of my favorite places. And you get to work with a multitude of guides that they all are doing the same thing, but they may do it just a little bit differently. So I'm able to pick up different pieces from each one of them. And of course, at the same time, just see some absolutely incredible places. And then the next one, the newest one, skill set that I've learned has actually came from a team of chefs that not only are they chefs, but they're very passionate about the outdoors. They're hunters. They're trappers, and two of them actually have culinary instructor backgrounds. One of them was actually the director of the Indiana Culinary Institute, and he had 12 chefs under him. He's a good friend of mine. He lives in Montana, and I have learned so much from him in the last few years on how to cleanly butcher, process, and cook wild game. And when I say cook wild game, I'm not talking about putting some grease in a pan and chicken frying everything either. I'm talking about some elevated dishes that look like they come out of a restaurant. And I've learned to do that here at home now for me and my wife. And that is 95% of what we eat is wild game. I love the idea of being able to go out in the field, learn how to hunt, learn how to track an animal down, put it down cleanly and ethically, clean it up out in the field, and then bring it back home and butcher it up, put it in my freezer, and then obviously eventually go to the freezer and pull it out and know what dish that I'm going to prepare for myself and my wife. That for me is one of the biggest satisfactions that I get out of hunting and being in the outdoors. So I've had some great mentors teach me their craft, and now through First Form Outdoors, I can pass that knowledge along, lead by example, and pass that knowledge along to your audience as well. I'm actually going on my 19th year of working in the outdoor industry. And I get asked a lot, how did you get started? I'd love to work in the outdoor industry, and, what did you do? And so I wanted to share my story with you, how I got started in the outdoor industry, because I can promise you one thing: I will be the only person that has gotten into probably any industry quite literally by accident the way that I did. So I was a national sales manager for a Fortune 200 company out of Chicago and was gone Monday through Friday. So I was part-time dad, part-time husband, and started to look around to see what else I could find where I didn't have to be gone all the time. And anyway, came up with the idea of doing something in the outdoors, and I actually just started a little side hustle and started putting hunting and fishing trips together for people in places that I had been and would recommend. And I would get these places, these outfitters would pay me a commission for sending them clients. Well, I did not have the time to go to trade shows and travel to be able to do this. So I actually ended up teaching myself how to do pay-per-click advertising. Now keep in mind, this was in 2004, before Google was Google. Yahoo was actually the big search engine. I bought 2 books and I read them and started doing pay-per-click advertising. Well, it blew up immediately. I started getting all these different leads in for all different types of hunts and fishing trips and things to do outdoors. And I was having to build this while I was on the road, usually in the evenings while in my hotel with my laptop and my cell phone. And it literally got to the point after the first year, we'll fast forward to October of 2005, that my wife and I were actually discussing, hey, maybe do I, jump in with both feet and give this a go full-time? Because if we're this successful part-time, man, what could I do full-time? There was a lot to discuss. There was a lot of pros and cons to both. I had a great 401k, I had insurance, steady paycheck, all of that. So anyway, October 29th of 2005, the decision was actually made for us in the form of a Jeep Grand Cherokee going 70 miles an hour and crashing through our house. And it ran over me while I was standing in my kitchen, literally landed on top of me. Fortunately, my wife was in the kitchen with me. It hit her, it launched her. She actually went through 2 walls in our house. But no broken bones, a few facial lacerations. I wasn't so lucky. The Jeep literally landed on top of me. Fire rescue ended up having to pull me out, cut me out from underneath this Jeep. To give you the shorter version of it, because of my injuries, an extended stay in the hospital, I ended up losing my job. I had 11 surgeries because of this. A lot of that was on my right leg. I would say I was in the hospital for a while, but literally had to learn how to walk again. I'd use a walker for a good part of the time, and then I graduated to crutches, numerous surgeries on my foot and my right knee, and then a whole bunch of other things as well. So anyway, it's literally one of those stories, lucky to be here, lucky to be alive kind of thing. I probably shouldn't be here. But because of that, I lost my job. They couldn't hold my territory for me because I went on short-term disability, then long-term because I kept having surgery after surgery, and I couldn't travel because of walking issues. So my only choice was to start building this business. And I slept in a recliner for 6, 7, maybe even 8 months. And so I sat there in my recliner with my laptop and my cell phone and just started building this business. And we literally have not looked back since. I mean, we've had lots of ups and downs. We had the crash of 2008 where we lost about 60% of our business. So there's been a lot of ups and downs. It hasn't been a bed of roses, but the point that I'm making is that we stuck with it. I didn't cry, oh, woe is me, and why me kind of thing. We just kept going. And anyway, so now I'm full-time in the industry and able to work with some incredible companies and meet some amazing people, including all the various instructors that I talked about earlier. So it has been a true blessing getting ran over by a Jeep while standing in my house, because I'm sitting here talking to you guys because of it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I have been preparing for this since 2004. Because not only do I live the outdoor lifestyle where I have a wealth of knowledge that I can pass along to the next generation and to your audience. But I also live a healthy lifestyle and have for years and years and years. I understand the importance of working out. You can't do what I do. You can't go climb, an 11,000 foot peak with a 60-pound pack on your back just by sitting on the couch. So I do, typically I do 2 workouts a day. I usually in the morning, I'm a morning person, so I get up at 4 o'clock pretty much every morning. Actually this morning, which is a Thursday, I have 6 o'clock a.m. Zoom calls. So I get up at 3:30 and I go hit the gym. I get my first workout in, then come back and I have my 6 o'clock call. And then typically my second workout is like maybe a ruck with my pack on, maybe a short run around 3 miles or so. My knees aren't all that good, as I explained earlier. But I understand what it takes and I live that lifestyle. I also understand the importance of eating clean, which I do. Like I said, about 90% of my protein comes from wild game that I've harvested myself. And then I also supplement as well, mostly protein. That's my go-to supplement, just to be able to keep up with the grams of protein that I need, which is it's exactly actually 207 grams is where I'm at right now per day. So I understand the importance of being able to use supplements to be able to get that done as well. So I couldn't do this video without mentioning that I have completed 75 hard several times, and I've also failed it several times as well. I guess that's why it's called 75 hard. I'm going to guess that at 57 years old, I'm probably going to be the oldest person to apply for this opportunity. I see that as an advantage in life lessons learned and knowledge gained over the years. So anyway, I appreciate you listening to my story and I appreciate the opportunity. I hope to talk to you guys soon. Whoops, hey, hold on just a second. You haven't gotten rid of me yet. This is actually the next day. I'm wearing something different. I went back and watched the footage from this video and I am so embarrassed. I did not say anything about my wife, Deborah. We will celebrate our 25th year wedding anniversary this October. And in those 25 years, we have been through so much, probably like a lot of other marriages. I don't think a lot of others have had Jeeps crash through their houses, but with that particular incident, she was injured, fortunately not near as bad as I was, but with all my injuries, once I finally got back home, she was my caretaker. She was my nurse. She had to feed me. There was a lot that she had to do for me that I won't even mention here, but she is the best person in the world, the kindest person, huge heart. She does so much for me, does so much for our kids. We're empty nesters now. Our kids are 29 and 24. But I am just extremely blessed to have her as my partner. I wouldn't be sitting here doing this if it wasn't for her. The last 11 years, she has actually ran our office for our business, and this isn't even her thing. She doesn't hunt. She's not involved in any of the outdoor stuff that I do, but she has supported me 110% of keeping that side of the business going for me. And just on top of that, man, I know it's very cliche to say, but she's my best friend. We still like each other after being married 25 years and working together for 10 or 11, and I think that says a lot. So that's a huge part of my life, if not the biggest part of my life, and I didn't even include it in this video. So I definitely felt compelled to include it in here because that says a lot about who I am. About being with the same person for 25 years. So anyway, thanks for listening. Appreciate the opportunity and talk to you guys soon.